If you've never lived in Central Florida, you might be surprised by what it's like to live here. Hi, my name is Brad, and I'm a real estate agent here in Central Florida. And I help families from all over the country and internationally move here and find a home. I lived here my entire life, born and raised, and there's a lot of things that people don't know about living here. Today we're just going to cover a few of my top tips. If you're ready, let's jump right in. Number one on our list is that there is no state income tax. If you think about something like, let's say, Queens, New York, you're making $70,000, $5,000 of that goes to state income tax. So that's about 6%. Not in Florida. And that's why so many people actually have moved down here in the last few years because of state income tax. Number two is that lot sizes are smaller. That's one of the first things that people notice, especially in some of the newer builds. Pretty much anything after 2000, maybe even 2005, the first thing you'll notice is, wow, those houses are pretty close together. But what you also see is that there's a lot of shared community space. So really nice pools and amenities, lots of green spaces, parks, and there is a lot of demand to live here. So builders and developers have gotten creative with how they get up that space. Number three is we take vacations in other parts of Florida. It's very common for us to go to Clearwater Beach or Siesta Key or Cape Canaveral, one of the beach towns, maybe even the Keys, which is really exciting. Even as a kid, I remember the first time I left Florida, I was probably a teenager, which is crazy to say out loud here, but it's normal for us to vacation in other parts of Florida. Obviously, we have Disney, and sometimes some of the locals will do a hotel trip just 20 minutes away and stay at one of the nice Disney hotels. That's kind of something we do as well. Number four on our list is that there are a lot of master planned communities. One of the most famous is Celebration, which is the town that Disney built. A lot of people know Celebration, but there's also places like Lake Nona, Horizon West, Wellness Way, which is being built out as we speak, and even Hunters Creek, which was built back in the 1990s. These are all master plan communities, and what's really nice about that is the infrastructure, the supermarkets, the green spaces were all planned right from the beginning, and so you have less of an urban sprawl feel and more of a community feel within. And so I always recommend master plan communities. Keep in mind that there's an HOA fee. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. But number five is, and this is a fun one, we don't go to Disney and Universal as much as you might think. We actually don't go there very much at all. It's sort of like if you live in New York, you probably don't go to the Statue of Liberty that much. And the reason is because there's just so many things to do in Central Florida. Just for instance, there are over 9,800 restaurants in Central Florida. 9,800, crazy to think about. And so you could probably go your entire life and never eat at the same restaurant. And so there's a ton of things to do in Central Florida. The tourists love Disney, tourists love Universal, and there's also a lot of big Disney fans here, but that's not the only thing that we do. Hey, before we go any further, could you do me a huge favor? Just right now, real quick, and hit that subscribe button. It would mean a ton to me. Thank you so much for doing that. All right, let's keep going. Number six on our list is that our air conditioning, it's on all the time. Oh, for sure. And it's on pretty much throughout the entire year. We never turn our heat on. There's pretty much no reason for us to have heat. We have it, but we never use it, so like furnace, like what is that, but we do change our air filters a lot down here. And, one thing to keep in mind is that our power bills range anywhere from $150, $200 a month. Sometimes when it's really hot out, let's say July, August, September, those 3 months in particular, you may get up into the 250s, 300 for let's say a 2,000 square foot, 2,500 square foot home. So it's not unusual to get to 300 during the hottest months of the year, but normally you're going to see closer to 150, 200. I'd love to know in the comments what you pay if you're from Central Florida. I don't think I'm completely off on that, but depends on how old your home is. And so if you have double pane windows, sort of the newer windows, that's going to cut down quite a bit. Some of the home builders also do spray foam insulation like Meritage Homes up in the attic, and that also can keep your house a lot cooler. We'll talk about solar panels another time, but for now, just know that the AC will always be on. Number 7, we don't have basements at all. There's like none. And that's really because the water table in Central Florida is very high. If you were to dig with a shovel, let's say 8, 9, 10 feet down into the ground, you're going to hit water. So to be able to put a cement structure 10 feet underneath the foundation of a house doesn't make sense. You would have too much water, too much humidity. We build up, we don't build down, and that's just kind of how it is here in Florida. Number 8 is the cost of HOA can be a little bit higher than most states. Central Florida, on average, we'll see $100, $150 a month. In some of the little bit more higher price point neighborhoods, $300 is pretty normal. And again, you're getting very close proximity to the theme parks. You're getting sort of resort style sometimes. Some of the newer neighborhoods here in Horizon West where I am, you're seeing resort style pools, like with splash pads and slides and all that kind of stuff. And so you do get the value out of it. Some of the older neighborhoods may not have an HOA and may not have an HOA that's over $100. Maybe it's more like $40 a month, $50 a month. That's okay. But some of the newer neighborhoods, and especially the higher price points, let's say $700,000 for your house, you're going to see a higher HOA. Number 9 is that wildlife will leave you alone if you leave it alone. Got it? Yeah, don't go trying to swim with the alligators and take a picture, because that's not good. Listen, you just got to pay attention and be mindful of where your surroundings are. Walking on the shoreline with a small dog late at night, not a good idea. And just stay away from gators. They'll stay away from you. Number 10 is there's a lot of tile and manufactured flooring. Not a lot of natural wood floors in Central Florida. There's a lot of reasons for that. Number 1 is pretty humid, even inside some cases, and the flooring can kind of shrivel up if it's too humid or bow. And so you have a lot of tile because it's a lot easier to keep. It's cooler on your feet. Dogs love that, by the way, too. And, just in general, we're in and out. We have a very active lifestyle. So you might be tracking sand into your home. It's really easy to keep clean. And it's just one of the things that developers do down here is they typically do tile. Hey, you're still here. I'm going to do a couple bonus just for the people who stayed this long. So thanks for watching. Again, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Really appreciate it. So number 11 is in the summer months, it pretty much rains and there's thunderstorms every afternoon. You can almost set your watch to it. Right around 2 o'clock, 2:30, we have these really strong storms that kind of come in from the West Coast, from the Gulf, and move across the state. And it's just a really nice kind of thing that happens in Central Florida, and actually really all of Florida. And it's just kind of a nice cozy feeling when it rains and thunders and there's lightning, and we don't really do very much. You can always tell when somebody's not from Central Florida because they'll put their hazard lights on the highway. That's how you know they're not from Florida. But yeah, every summer or every afternoon in the summer, expect a rainstorm. It's kind of how we do things around here. And number 12, last thing on the list, and this is kind of a funny one, but everything in Central Florida is just 30 minutes away. Regardless of which road you take, wherever you're going, it's going to take you about 30 minutes to get there. Unless you're going to your friend's house down the street, it's going to take you about 30 minutes to get there. So as we wrap up, I'm curious, did any of those stand out as vastly different from the state that you're currently living in? Just comment below. I'd be curious to know what you thought. And look, if I can help you with anything real estate related, buying, selling, or investing in Central Florida, please contact me immediately. My information is in the details below, and I would love to help serve you and your family. Central Florida is a fantastic place for families, for investors. If I can help with anything, please reach out. We'll see you on the next video. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.